Welcome to Engage Sciences. I'm Francesca and I'm thrilled to announce our latest release of our social marketing activation platform, version 4. Join me as I talk to Richard Jones, our CEO, about some of the strategy behind the latest release. So what were the goals of version 4?
So version 4, we were focused on a number of key things. The first was around ease of use. So we have completely redesigned our publishing flow, really trying to focus on making it as easy as possible for marketers to create the best looking campaigns that they can, whilst not actually taking away any of the flexibility of being able to control user journeys and look and feel. The second area of focus was to really take our mobile story to the next level. So we've deployed a fully responsive front end across all of our campaigns, so we can basically refit the look and feel depending on the device that consumers are using to interact with that campaign. The third area is basically looking at how we can drive repeat engagement. So we've used a whole achievements framework where people can actually get rewarded with points and badges and levels to ensure that the market has tools to encourage repeat engagement over time with their fans and followers. And then the last piece is really looking at how do we really ensure that marketers have the tools to socialize their website. So building out on the ability to filter and curate content from across the social web and publish it into the marketer's website.
What is the role of a brand's website in today's social media influenced world?
Well, a couple of years ago, people were talking about the death of brand websites. The wild popularity of Facebook was leading a lot of brands to actually look at Facebook as the future of their brand identity. Now, fast forward a couple of years and a lot of things have actually happened. There is now a proliferation of different social channels that you can interact with consumers on. So it's now no longer good enough to actually leave all of your social interaction to a Facebook page and actually just have a brand's website as an informational or transactional hub. Websites now need to be a fulcrum of social interaction across multiple different channels. They need to transform themselves into a social destination fit for the social consumer. And with hashtags being rolled out across all of the major social networks, it's never been easier to actually group interaction across a wide variety of different social channels. And that means that the website now needs to become that place that people can actually click through from to actually have a deeper interaction with the brand. So brand websites effectively need to transform themselves into true social hubs.
How do brands turn websites into a social hub?
Using Engage Sciences, brands can actually set up feeds from across the social web, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube, etc., to basically find the voices of fans and followers and how they're interacting with your products, your services and your campaigns. You can then curate and filter the best of that conversation and actually publish it directly onto your brand website. Now that could be advocacy from people that are actually enjoying your products and services, but it also could be the way people are interacting with your latest marketing campaign. Now, we don't want people to just be looking at pretty streams of social content on your website. I mean, it's great. You get about a 300% increase in dwell time when you have curated social content on web pages. But we also want people to be taking a further step. We want them to have a deeper engagement with the brand on the website. So it's important for brands to actually think about deploying interactive experiences that actually engage individuals and that have viral mechanics embedded that incentivize them to share that experience across the social graph with their friends and followers, which drives more traffic back to the website. Now lastly, analytics in the social space need to be addressed. So traditional website analytics have really been anonymous. They've been clickstream analysis. But in the social world, we really need to be thinking about how individuals are interacting with your content and campaigns on your website and actually storing that against a record in their audience database.
So how do brands create truly engaged fans?
Comscore came out with a study a few years ago where they basically looked at Facebook and they looked at the percentage of fans that actually re-engage after they've liked a page. And it was only 10% of fans. So you need to be able to think of what's your strategy, what's the framework to ensure that when people actually engage with you on social channels, that they actually have a path to follow which incentivises and drives re-engagement. At Engage Sciences, we believe that that structure can be basically deployed with advocate programs and gamification, where from the very first interaction that a fan or follower has with you, they can see a pathway of subsequent interactions that get them closer to you as a brand. Now, looking at the data, what we've seen is that rather than just having 10% of your fans actually bother to re-engage beyond the like, we actually get over 3 times that amount. And many of our brands are actually seeing over 20% of their fans re-engage 5 times or more within the first 3 months of following them on social channels.
How can social data be used to power marketing campaigns?
One of the great things about social marketing is there is a very rich set of data that can be gathered from the way that people are interacting with you and your content on social channels. So what Engage Sciences does is we actually create a record for every individual that it's connecting with your content and campaigns on social channels. And as they reconnect with your social marketing, we're appending their behaviour to that customer record. Now, what that allows us to actually do is to build up a picture of all of the people that are actually connecting with you on social channels. So we can start to see things like, show me all the people that have connected in the last month. Show me all the people that have become dormant on social channels in the last 3 months. Perhaps I want to see who are my most effective referrers at driving conversions back onto my website through their activity in sharing our content. Or perhaps I want to see those that are basically advocating us the most, that are promoting the most on social channels. All of that can be done by actually segmenting the audience database. Now, one of the great things that you can actually start to do is to take segmented lists of data and start to use that to power campaigns on different channels. Now, if you're a retailer, for example, you might want to see, show me all the people that have interacted with either posts or campaigns of a particular product genre in the last 6 weeks. You can actually take that data and then use it as a targeting criteria in an email campaign. You could actually take that data and load it up into something like Facebook or Twitter custom audiences, where they allow you to actually use your third-party data to actually target advertising on those networks. And we have a number of different APIs, which actually makes it very easy for our customers to actually access that data. There's an API to actually access all of the campaign data. So looking at how you've actually interacted with people and what they've told you about themselves as they've been interacting with your campaigns. We have a data API looking at the audience, so looking at that overall picture of how people are interacting with your campaigns and content over time. And then lastly, we have a loyalty API, which basically allows you to actually start to reward people for their social interaction with actually points in a real-world loyalty scheme.
How is Engage Sciences enhancing the audience database?
Well, one of the main things that we're actually doing is implementing a tagging infrastructure. So marketers can basically look at all of the posts that messages that they're sending out on social channels, and they can actually categorize them based on a taxonomy of their own choice. So for example, if they were a retailer that's selling multiple different products of different genres, they might want to tag up their posts and messages based on those different product genres, so they can see how people are engaging with various different things that they sell. Now, we're actually starting to import all of the data in the way people are actually interacting with those posts and messages into the audience database. So we can actually show you in your community how people are interacting with those various different messages and campaigns.